Hey, this is David Nash from the Shepherd School, and this video is a response to me being tagged from I'm still working in the 5 tools for preppers. And I'm a little different, and so I'm going to do mine a little different. I don't have a whole lot of gadgets and stuff to show because I'm really not into gadgets. I'm really more into experimenting and building relationships and building skills. And so my 5 things are probably stuff that we've all got, and I'm just going to tell you why they hit my top 5. And basically, if we're looking at a disaster type, Schumer hit the fan, without rule of law, into the world as we know it type disaster, catastrophic disaster, I'm not really sure how much all of our tools and stuff is going to help us, because you know what happens if your house catches on fire, you know? So my 5 things are more items that I can keep with me, that are with me all the time. And so the first one is, you know, my intelligence, right? And your intelligence. The most important thing is the ability to keep your head and to keep calm, and the stuff that you pack into your brain ahead of time. You know, I grew up on watching MacGyver, and that probably had more toward me being who I am than probably any other thing outside of my parents and my religion and my education. You know, the fact that you've got a guy that can look outside the box and make solutions to problems is pretty important to me. You know, like Einstein said, you can't solve a problem with the same level of thinking that created the problem. And so to me, my very first #1 disaster prep skill is my ability to take information and process it to find new solutions. And that's why on my videos I do a lot of experiments, because I learn as much from stuff that screws up as stuff that goes right. My #2 one are behind me. My reference books, the internet, any kind of knowledge gathering device that I can use. I tell my students at the college quite a bit that I don't expect you to know everything. What I do is expect you to know how to find it. I've got some of the old Audell's books, little shop books, right? I'm not a very good carpenter. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty horrible at it. But these old 1960s, I got them on eBay for a couple bucks a piece. You know, they tell me how to calculate rise and run of stairs and roofs, and how to do foundations. Things that I don't know, and I don't know a lot of people who do know it. And so by buying this little book, I've got it with me in the event that I'm building something I've got a question. Recipe books. You know, how to smoke and cure and butcher animals. All sorts of things that I may not know how to do, and I don't have time. My late grandfather told me one time, I was sitting around his house and we were talking about projects, and he said, you know, you must plan on living forever with all your projects that you've got planned. And you know, I can't do everything, I can't experiment with everything, but I can build a substantial library of things that give me at least some guides in the event that there's some sort of disaster. Like Heinlein said, specialization is for insects. A man ought to be able to know how to do a lot of stuff. My 3rd is people, right? Relationships. Having other people to help me. I don't know everything. Heck, if you watch my videos, I screw up more than I actually succeed at this stuff. I don't know how to do everything, but I do know how to find people that help me, and that's what I love about the YouTube. That's what I love about the internet. And not just out there in cyberspace, but people in your neighborhood. You know, if there was an actual catastrophic disaster, it's not going to be solved by, you know, you and your rifle and 10,000 rounds of ammunition. And, you know, can you shoot everybody? No, you can't. Can you stay up for 24 hours, 7 days a week, for the duration, for the next decade? No. But if you have some good, solid relationships, people that you trust, that you built up trust now, you know, kind of like Southern Prepper and his gang, you know, they live close together, they work together, you know, and they're able to do a lot of stuff that you can't accomplish alone. So relationships and people are my third. My fourth would be my tools, my hand tools. You know, a bag of you know, just basic tools, wrenches, hand saw, you know, non-electric gear that you could throw in your bug-out vehicle in case your houses catch on fire. You know, I keep a bag of tools in the car, but you can never have too many hand tools, too many hammers, too many saws, too many screwdrivers. You know, at the very least, you can barter them or you can loan them out. You know, if you're the guy in your neighborhood that has the resources and the knowledge, you know, you won't have to do all the labor. And I'm kind of fat and lazy, so I'd much rather be the library and not the construction crew. So good hand tools, and not just for construction, but you know, food processing stuff. I've got some meat grinders and sausage stuffers and food mills, things like that I've got either on eBay or at local antique shops. You know, pressure canners, food dehydrators, all that sort of stuff. And my third one is, even though I said I'm not going to get into too much specifics, but having all food and all disaster prep and no gun basically leaves you open to people that went the other route and they got all gun and no food prep. So basically you have to achieve a balance. And so my fifth would be, you know, my 870 shotgun, and I've got ARs and other stuff. But this one's probably my best disaster type firearm. You see, it's just pretty much bone stock the way it came from Walmart, except for I added a police cylinder barrel and a sling swivel and a sling. Everything else, though, is exactly how it came from the store. And this works pretty good in a home defense type scenario situation. Protect my block from looters. They always talk about that, you know, racking of the shotgun as a deterrent. You know, if you've got, you know, a looting situation and you can just put a round in the chamber and say, look, you know, I can't get everybody, but I can get the first one. You know, that might go a long way for you keeping all your beans and bandages. It's also pretty good for hunting. And so this would be my fifth disaster prep tool. So, like I said, I don't have a lot of neat junk to show. I do that on all my other experiment videos, and I'm going to actually do some more at the end of the day here to put on, you know, by Monday. So, I appreciate you watching. Now I've got to do the second part of this 5 prepper tools. Now I've got to tag 5 other preppers. And this was actually harder for me than figuring out what I was going to show. I had to pick some people that I thought they had something good to say and that I didn't think would be too offended. My first one is I want to tag Nancy Today. She's been on YouTube since about '07, and I've really learned a lot about recipes and disaster prep and basic stuff from her. And she's got a pretty bubbly and humorous outlook on life, and I really enjoy watching her videos. The second one is another lady that I've watched way before I started posting, and that's What You Waiting For. She's got a woman's perspective on camping and survival, and she's got a lot of real good basic stuff, basic videos. She's got a lot of good equipment. The third guy is a guy from Denmark, and I just basically got turned on to him the other day, Fuba44. This guy is brilliant. He doesn't have a lot of room, a lot of time to do prepping, but the stuff that he does isn't your normal everyday, let me dehydrate some beans and put in a can. This guy's building stuff like gasifier cars that run on, you know, wood. He's building foundries, you know, so you can melt aluminum and rebuild critical infrastructure. So this guy, was looking at his videos, and all the stuff that he's doing are things that are on my list to do, but I'm not quite confident enough to try yet. So Fuba44. The next guy is Brooklyn Prepper, and he's also somebody that I just kind of turned into. I really love this guy's sense of humor. He was talking about his AK-47 shit hit the fan weapon the other day, and it was a vegetable slicer, a mandolin vegetable slicer. He was talking about its expandable stock, its folding stock. It was great. He had a really good idea about canning the ingredients or vacuum sealing the ingredients to make bread. You know, it's all together, the yeast, the flour, everything that you need right there to make bread in little packages. So everything's pre-measured. You just add water. And so that's a really smart thing, and so I tag him. And the last guy is a guy that's actually from my hometown, and he's just now starting to do videos on some disaster prep. He's pretty well known in the firearm related industry, and that's kind of how I know him. We don't agree on everything. Matter of fact, we disagree on as much stuff as we agree on, but he does have some pretty good shooting skill. And since he started to put out some videos on, especially in relation to the Patriot Nurse, that I figured I'd tag him, and that's James Yeager from Tactical Response. So that's my 5 people, and I'll post this in just a second with some links to the people that I've tagged, and that's all I've got. I appreciate it. You can always catch me online at www.tngun.com. Thanks.